Hi students, welcome to Alphos e-learning chemistry classes for second year. The running chapter is organic chemistry and now we are in session number 36. In previous class we are having a discussion on the properties of phenol and that too electrophilic substitutions on phenol, and we discussed about the nitration and different conditions for the nitration and what are the products and the nature of the products, and we also discussed about the acidic nature of picric acid. Picric acid, as you know, it is nothing but trinitrophenol. Picric acid, it is trinitrophenol 2,4,6, here NO2, here NO2 and NO2. This is 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, and this 2,4,6 trinitrophenol is also known as picric acid. And we already discussed about this reaction of the acids which are more acidic than carbonic acid, which are able to release CO2 from carbonates and bicarbonates. There already we discussed phenol is unable to release CO2 from carbonates, bicarbonate. Nitrophenol is also unable to release CO2 from carbonates and bicarbonates, but dinitrophenol onwards, that is when the phenol is nitrated at 2, that is 2 and 4 dinitro condition, when observed in phenol, it is able to release CO2 from carbonates and bicarbonates. That means dinitrophenol is more acidic than carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is nothing but H2CO3. Just you remember, it is inorganic acid. Even though carbon and hydrogen present, but still it is not organic compound. Clear? And now when dinitrophenol is able to release CO2 from carbonates, bicarbonates, automatically trinitrophenol is still more acidic. That's why it can also release CO2 from carbonates and bicarbonates. Is it not? And now actually this is prepared simply by nitration of phenol. Nitration of phenol with concentrated HNO3. When concentrated HNO3 is used for nitration with H2SO4, we are getting this trinitrophenol. When in case if it is dilute HNO3, only mononitro, ortho or para nitrophenol is formed, but not trinitro. Is it not? And now here one more important point. Actually nowadays, that is in these days, this picric acid is prepared in a different manner. It is nothing but, first of all, this phenol is sulfonated by treating with sulfuric acid, and this sulfonation is an electrophilic substitution again. And just you remember, this sulfonyl group, that is SO3H group, is highly sensitive. It is the best leaving group from the substrate. Instead of hydrogen, once it is substituted by SO3H group, that is sulfo group, then now it is of highly sensitive group. That means it is readily released and readily going out of this substrate as an electrophile, not as nucleophile. And now this, when treated with concentrated HNO3, and now it is getting trinitrophenol. So in this manner, nowadays the trinitrophenol, nothing but picric acid, is prepared first by sulfonating this phenol and then by treating with nitric acid. Clear? This is now the advanced method to prepare the picric acid. And next, let us move to the next electrophilic substitution reaction of phenol. It is nothing but halogenation. And in halogenation for phenol, we are having a discussion on bromination. Electrophilic substitution is nothing but, the second part is bromination. Actually bromination, it is nothing but halogenation. You know, actually phenol or any benzene derivatives, when they are undergoing halogenation, which is an electrophilic substitution, they require Lewis acids. Lewis acids, it is nothing but the purpose of Lewis acid is simply to create polarity in bromine. That means only to create the electrophile. But in this case, that is, this is happening in case of normal benzene derivatives. But in case of phenol, where this OH group, because of having lone pair, is highly activating group. Already we discussed it in previous sessions. That is nothing but OH group is ortho and para director, and it is ring activator for electrophilic substitution. Is it not? So now this OH group, that is which is already present on benzene ring, is of having high activating effect, and thereby even in the absence of Lewis acid, this will undergo bromination. That is, phenol will undergo bromination even in the absence of Lewis acid. And one more reason why we are not using Lewis acid is nothing but, already we discussed, just you remember, when Lewis acid is used as the catalyst, it is of having the tendency to attack on the lone pair of oxygen present in OH group. Is it not? So here its presence is not required. The reason is nothing but it is highly activating group. And when it is highly activating group, just you observe what is happening. Simply this, when donate the electron to this one, this pi bond will be shifted to this, and thereby it can make this to go other side. That means when the bond is going this side, this will get positive charge and it will get negative charge. Like that, the polarization will be created in bromine by the high activation of this OH group. That's why there is no need for the presence of Lewis acid, just you remember. But this has to be catalyzed by less polar or non-polar solvents. It is less polar solvent. Best example is CHCl3. That means this bromination can be carried out in presence of chloroform. And non-polar solvent, best example is CS2. At very low temperature, that is 0 degrees centigrade, 273 Kelvin, when in presence of CHCl3 or CS2, bromination is taking place, forming monobromophenol. That monobromination is taking place either at ortho position or at para position, like this. And you know already this is the major product. Is it not? Like that, even in the absence of less polar groups or non-polar groups, this bromination will take place, and the reason is nothing but high activating effect of this oxygen. It is ortho-para director and ring activator. That activation is very high, thereby it can create the polarity in bromine molecule. Clear? And now, in case if this phenol bromination is carried out in polar solvent, even in less polar and non-polar solvent, it is undergoing bromination. But in case if we are using this bromine, a polar solvent like water, that is bromine water, if we are using, just you know, I think bromine water is nothing but combination of bromine water is nothing but Br2 plus H2O, this combination. And in this presence, it is undergoing a drastic bromination, which is of forming OH 2 4 6 tribromo phenol, which is of considered as an yellow product. It is yellow in color. Tribromophenol is yellow, slight yellow. Sometimes in some books it is referred as white precipitate. So it is formed when polar solvents are used, and that's why if we are using only non-polar or less polar solvent, then it is of giving monobrominated product. This is about the bromination of phenol. And now let us move to the next reactions that are assumed, and already we discussed that this phenol is unable to go for Friedel-Crafts alkylation and acylation. The reason is nothing but when alkylation and acylation reactions require the presence of Lewis acids, and the presence of Lewis acid, when Lewis acid is used for the reaction of phenol, that Lewis acid, instead of attacking on the reagent, it may attack directly on phenol oxygen, thereby forming a complex, and which is of restricting further reaction. That's why this phenol is unable to go for Friedel-Crafts alkylation or acylation. Clear? And now coming to the second reaction, that is nothing but Kolb's reaction. And just you remember, Kolb's electrolysis is different from Kolb's reaction. Kolb's electrolysis is electrolysis of salts of, that is metal salts, that first A group, sodium or potassium, salts of carboxylic acid aqueous solutions. On electrolysis we are able to generate, or we are able to prepare hydrocarbons. It may be alkanes by coupling reaction, or alkenes or alkynes. All these three types of hydrocarbons we can generate by the hydrolysis, but by the electrolysis of aqueous solutions of the salts of carboxylic acids. Is it not? But that is Kolb's electrolysis, but it is Kolb's reaction. Here that Kolb's electrolysis is nothing but taking place through free radical coupling, but here Kolb's reaction is nothing but an electrophilic substitution. Here the substitution is nothing but this phenol. Just you observe, when treated with phenol, when treated with CO2 in presence of NaOH and then followed by hydrolysis, acid hydrolysis, is able to form salicylic acid, that is O-hydroxybenzoic acid. Here the electrophile CO2 is weak electrophile. Just you remember, it is weak electrophile, and even when it is weak electrophile, this phenol in presence of NaOH can react with that one. And how it is happening, just you observe, when this phenol is treated with NaOH, that is when it is treated with base, it is now converted into phenoxide. Already you know the difference between phenol and phenoxide. Phenol and phenoxide, both these two are involved in resonance. Both these two are resonance stabilized, but in activation, this phenoxide is, because of having negative charge, it is more activator than phenol group. That's why first it is converted to phenoxide, or first it is made to convert into phenoxide. And now because of this lone pair and negative charge, it can contribute more for this resonance, and where just let me give the CO2 like this, and when it is contributing the electron pair to this pi bond will be shifted to this, and where it is allowed by making the pi bond to shift towards oxygen, and where we are getting like this, it is oxygen in a place, it is not involved, double bond, and this is now having H, C, double bond O minus is there. This is nothing but, here it is of a exhibiting or behaving like electrophile. It is accepting the electron pair from the benzene ring, is it not? Now that when it is of hydrolyzed, this structure, when it is hydrolyzed, just you observe, oxygen, when it is hydrolyzed in acid medium, this is going out forming pi bond, and whereby making this to come back, and it is now coming to O Na plus, and this is C double bond O minus, and this with acid treatment is giving OH and COOH. It is nothing but salicylic acid. Just the question is, in this Kolb's reaction, the reaction involved electrophile is nothing but CO2. CO2 is behaving as neutral electrophile, which can accept the electron pair from benzene ring when phenoxide is donating that lone pair. That is nothing but the pi bond is coming to this, and it is forming, and on hydrolysis it is of regained its phenolic condition and acidic condition. Clear? And this total reaction is known as Kolb's reaction, and here in Kolb's reaction we are generating the salicylic acid. And just you remember, in Kolb's reaction, first of all, phenol is converted to phenoxide. The reason is nothing but phenol is weak activating group when compared to phenoxide. Already we know in phenoxide, as the negative charge is dispersed throughout the resonance, it is of more stabilized and more conjugated, and because of its negative charge, it is ready to donate the electron pair to the electrophile. So that makes it to be more reactive when compared to this. That's why first of all it is converted to phenoxide. Clear? That is about Kolb's reaction. And next one is nothing but Reamer-Tiemann reaction. It is nothing but salicylic aldehyde is formed, O-hydroxybenzylaldehyde, that is called salicyl aldehyde. This one. Third reaction is Reamer-Tiemann reaction. Here phenol is treated with chloroform CHCl3 in presence of NaOH or KOH in presence of base, where and thereafter it is hydrolyzed again, hydrolysis, and now it is giving this product which is known as O-hydroxybenzylaldehyde. It is salicyl aldehyde is the product. And now how it happens, just you remember, first of all this chloroform, carbon, hydrogen, Cl, Cl, Cl. When it is attacked by the base, it takes this hydrogen from the substrate, from the reagent. And just you remember, hydrogen is going in the form of proton by releasing the electron to this carbon. And now after this what we are getting is carbon with a negative charge in presence of 3 withdrawing groups, but it is highly unstable. When these are electronegative atoms, in presence of electronegative atoms, it is not possible to retain the negative charge on less electronegative atom, and thereby immediately carbon makes one of the chlorine to go out by taking the electrons. And now what we are getting is the reaction intermediate, actually it is reagent, it is nothing but carbene, dichlorocarbene. Already you know carbene is nothing but biradical. Biradical means 2 odd electrons, 2 unpaired electrons are present there. These 2, it is not, seem to be paired, but it is not actually paired, it is 2 unpaired electrons. This is the electrophile now because of having vacant orbitals. And now when phenol is first converted to phenoxide by treating with NaOH, and as we know phenoxide is the best activating group, O minus Na plus, and this when attacking on this carbene, which is of supposed to have vacant orbital along with this, when it is donating electron it will attack on this, and now it is of getting O Na, and this is H C Cl Cl, and now when it is donating the electron pair, this by taking the electron pair will get negative charge, and just this hydrogen by donating the electron to this releases in the form of H plus, and it will be of going to this carbon. And now when it is of shifted like that, the benzene ring aromaticity is regained. It is now coming like this, O minus Na plus. Here when it is giving back, it goes back, and now it is C, H, Cl and Cl, and this hydrogen is shifted to this. And now when it is NaOH is used for hydrolysis, these two chlorines being weak nucleophiles can be replaced by strong nucleophile OH, where they are replaced by minus Na plus C, H, OH and OH. It is nothing but gem diol, and already we know gem diol is highly unstable form, and whenever any species, any chemical compound is found to have gem diol condition, immediately one of the OH group will donate this lone pair for forming the pi bond, where the other OH group will leave the substrate, and along with this hydrogen will come out, where we can expect Na plus minus C, H double bond O, and this on hydrolysis it is giving this type of compound, that is phenolic condition is regained, and this is nothing but C double bond OH. It is salicyl aldehyde, like that. Here the electrophile is nothing but biradical. This is the electrophile. Dichlorocarbene is the electrophile in Reamer-Tiemann reaction, and it is formed, and this electrophile actually it is not having any charge. It is also a neutral electrophile. Why it is not having any charge? Just to observe, this hydrogen is going out by donating the electron pair, and whereas this chlorine is going out by taking the electron pair. One come, one out. So the net result is no charge. When the donation is happened, it gets negative charge, but when it is of taking the electron, that negative charge now becomes neutral. Clear? So like that, when it is going out, now we are getting the neutral biradical, nothing but carbene. As two chlorines are present as two bond pairs, it is known as biradical. Dichlorocarbene, it is a biradical, two unpaired electrons present. That is behaving as an electrophile. And now this phenol, after converting into phenoxide, which is where phenoxide is more activating group, will contribute these pi electrons to this, and where it is taking place like this. And after getting this rearrangement, it is now hydrolyzed in alkaline medium, and in this hydrolysis it is now just converted to gem diol, and we know gem diol is highly unstable condition, and gem triol is also highly unstable condition. When it is gem diol, just you observe, by eliminating one water molecule, here these two combinedly go out in the form of water. In case of gem diol, by eliminating water, it will convert into carbonyl group. Here it is converted to aldehydic group. In case of gem triol, just you remember, in case of gem triol, that will convert into carboxylic acid. But here only diol is formed, and in this gem diol, after hydrolysis, after dehydration is converted to aldehyde. That is nothing but salicyl aldehyde, O-hydroxy benzaldehyde. Like that, the Reamer-Tiemann reaction will happen, and just what you have to remember is what is the electrophile. What is the electrophile? Clear? That is about Reamer-Tiemann reaction. And some other reactions are there, that is nothing but reduction with zinc and oxidation with chromic oxide, chromic acid. What these two reactions? Let us discuss these two. They are direct reactions. Simply, already you know the reaction with zinc, because we are using that reaction of phenol with zinc by reduction, that is the oxygen is removed so as to get the benzene. That is, we are using that reaction in the preparation of benzene. So the same reaction here also considered as the property. Reaction with zinc dust. This is, and here phenol when treated slightly heated with zinc, it is of getting into benzene forming ZnO. It is a reduction reaction because oxygen is removed. And next, fifth one is oxidation reaction. Oxidation oxidation is with chromic acid, with chromic acid, and we know chromic acid in situ nothing but K2Cr2O7 or Na2Cr2O7 in H2SO4. Immediately it will be of providing H2CrO4, just you remember. And this is the representation of chromic acid in situ. And now this phenol, when oxidized with this chromic acid, that is nothing but Na2Cr2O7 and H2SO4, is oxidized to benzo, that is, this is diketone. It is nothing but quinone, which is a conjugated diketone. So phenol on oxidation with the chromic acid forms quinone, a conjugated diketone. These are the properties of phenols. And in next session, as I promised you, I am going to provide some questionnaire to answer, and thereafter, after giving that questionnaire, here and there some questions I will discuss how to get the answers in logical manner. That is nothing but thought provoking. All these I will do in the next session. Okay, thank you.